Chapter 7 Gyan Vigyan Yog. Yog through the realization of divine knowledge. This chapter begins with Sri Krishna describing the material and spiritual dimensions of God's energies. He explains that similar to beads strung on a single thread, all these energies have originated from Him and rest in Him. The entire creation begins and dissolves into Him. Although it is very difficult to overcome His material energy Maya, those who surrender to Him can easily cross over it by His grace. He then describes the 4 kinds of people who engage in His devotion and the other 4 who do not surrender to Him. He says that those devotees who worship Him in knowledge with their mind and intellect merged in Him are dearest to Him. Yet, some are deluded by material desires and surrender to the celestial gods, who bestow upon them temporary material prosperity. However, these celestial gods also get their powers from the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the worthiest object of devotion is the Almighty God Himself. Sri Krishna further confirms that He is the ultimate truth and the highest authority. He possesses several divine attributes such as omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience. However, His divine Yogmaya power hides His imperishable nature and eternal divine form. Those devotees who surrender to Him and take His shelter receive the divine knowledge of the Supreme God, the Self, and the entire field of the karmic actions. The Supreme Lord said, "Now listen, O Arjun, how, with the mind attached exclusively to me, and surrendering to me through the practice of Bhakti Yog, you can know me completely, free from doubt. I shall now reveal unto you fully this knowledge and wisdom, knowing which nothing else remains to be known in this world. Amongst thousands of persons, hardly one strives for perfection, and amongst those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, and ego, these are 8 components of my material energy. Such is my inferior energy. But beyond it, O mighty-armed Arjun, I have a superior energy. This is the Jiva Shakti, the soul energy, which comprises the embodied souls who are the basis of life in this world. Know that all living beings are manifested by these 2 energies of mine. I am the source of the entire creation, and into me it again dissolves. There is nothing higher than myself, O Arjun. Everything rests in me. I am the taste in water, O son of Kunti, and the radiance of the sun and the moon. I am the sacred syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether, and the ability in humans. I am the pure fragrance of the earth, and the brilliance in fire. I am the life force in all beings, and the penance of the ascetics. O Arjun, know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect of the intelligent, and the splendor of the glorious. O best of the Bharatas, in strong persons, I am their strength devoid of desire and passion. I am sexual activity not conflicting with virtue or scriptural injunctions. The 3 states of material existence, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are manifested by my energy. They are in me, but I am beyond them. Deluded by the 3 modes of Maya, people in this world are unable to know me, the imperishable and eternal. My divine energy Maya, consisting of the 3 modes of nature, is very difficult to overcome. But those who surrender unto me cross over it easily. 4 kinds of people do not surrender unto me: those ignorant of knowledge, those who lazily follow their lower nature though capable of knowing me, those with deluded intellect, and those with a demoniac nature. O best amongst the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious people engage in my devotion: the distressed, the seekers of knowledge, the seekers of worldly possessions, and those who are situated in knowledge. Amongst these, I consider them to be the highest, who worship me with knowledge, and are steadfastly and exclusively devoted to me. I am very dear to them and they are very dear to me. All those who are devoted to me are indeed noble. But those in knowledge, who are of steadfast mind, whose intellect is merged in me, and who have made me alone as their supreme goal, I consider as my very self. After many births of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be all that is. Such a great soul is indeed very rare. Those whose knowledge has been carried away by material desires surrender to the celestial gods. Following their own nature, they worship the devatas, practicing rituals meant to propitiate these celestial personalities. Whatever celestial form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, I study the faith of such a devotee in that form. Endowed with faith, the devotee worships a particular celestial god and obtains the objects of desire. But in reality, I alone arrange these benefits. But the fruit gained by these people of little understanding is perishable. Those who worship the celestial gods go to the celestial abodes, while my devotees come to me. The less intelligent think that I, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, was formless earlier and have now assumed this personality. They do not understand the imperishable exalted nature of my personal form. I am not manifest to everyone, being veiled by my divine Yogmaya energy. Hence, those without knowledge do not know that I am without birth and changeless. O Arjun, I know of past, present, and future, and I also know all living beings, but me no one knows. O descendant of Bharat, the dualities of desire and aversion arise from illusion. O conqueror of enemies, all living beings in the material realm are deluded by these. But persons, whose sins have been destroyed by engaging in pious activities, become free from the illusion of dualities. Such persons worship me with determination. Those who take shelter in me, striving for liberation from old age and death, come to know the Brahman, the individual self, and the entire field of karmic action. Those who know me as the governing principle of the Adhibhuta, field of matter, and the Adhideva, the celestial gods, and as Adhi Yajna, the Lord of all sacrificial performances, such enlightened souls are in full consciousness of me even at the time of death. Chapter 8, Akshar Brahma Yog, the Yoga of the Eternal God. In this chapter, Sri Krishna briefly describes several significant concepts and terms that the Upanishads expound in detail. He also explains what decides the destination of the soul after death. He says that if we remember God at the time of death, we can definitely attain Him. Therefore, alongside doing our daily works, we must always practice thinking of God. We can do this by thinking of His qualities, attributes, virtues, etc. A persistent yogic meditation upon God by chanting His names is also a good practice. Through exclusive devotion, when our mind is perfectly absorbed in Him, we will elevate from the material dimension to the spiritual realm. Sri Krishna then talks about the various abodes in the material realm and the cycle of creation. He further explains how the multitudes of beings manifest on these abodes, and at the time of dissolution, everything absorbs back into Him. However, the divine abode of God is untouched by this cycle of creation and dissolution. Those who progress on the path of light finally reach the divine abode and never return to the material world. Whereas those fallen souls who tread the path of darkness endlessly keep transmigrating in the cycle of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Arjun said, O Supreme Lord, what is Brahman, absolute reality? What is Adhyatma, the individual soul, and what is Karma? What is said to be Adhibhuta, and who is said to be Adhideva. Who is Adhyajna in the body and how is he the Adhyajna? O Krishna, how are you to be known at the time of death by those of steadfast mind? The Lord said, the supreme indestructible entity is called Brahman. One's own self is called Adhyatma. Actions pertaining to the material personality of living beings and its development are called karma or fruitive activities. O best of the embodied souls, the physical manifestation that is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta, the universal form of God, which presides over the celestial gods in this creation, is called Adhideva. I, who dwell in the heart of every living being, am called Adhiyajna, or the Lord of all sacrifices. Those who relinquish the body while remembering me at the moment of death will come to me. There is certainly no doubt about this. Whatever one remembers upon giving up the body at the time of death, O son of Kunti, one attains that state, being always absorbed in such contemplation. Therefore, always remember me and also do your duty of fighting the war. With mind and intellect surrendered to me, you will definitely attain me. Of this, there is no doubt. With practice, O Parth, when you constantly engage the mind in remembering me, the Supreme Divine Personality, without deviating, you will certainly attain me. God is omniscient, the most ancient one, the controller, subtler than the subtlest, the support of all, and the possessor of an inconceivable divine form. He is brighter than the sun, and beyond all darkness of ignorance. One who at the time of death, with unmoving mind attained by the practice of yoga, fixes the pyare, life airs, between the eyebrows, and steadily remembers the Divine Lord with great devotion, certainly attains him. Scholars of the Vedas describe him as imperishable. Great ascetics practice the vow of celibacy and renounce worldly pleasures to enter into him. I shall now explain to you briefly the path to that goal. Restraining all the gates of the body and fixing the mind in the heart region, and then drawing the life breath to the head, one should get established in steadfast yogic concentration. One who departs from the body while remembering me, the Supreme Personality, and chanting the syllable Om, will attain the supreme goal. O Parth, for those yogis who always think of me with exclusive devotion, I am easily attainable because of their constant absorption in me. Having attained me, the great souls are no more subject to rebirth in this world, which is transient and full of misery, because they have attained the highest perfection. In all the worlds of this material creation, up to the highest abode of Brahma, you will be subject to rebirth, O Arjun. But on attaining my abode, O son of Kunti, there is no further rebirth. One day of Brahma, Kalp, lasts 1,000 cycles of the 4 ages, Mahayug, and his night also extends for the same span of time. The wise who know this understand the reality about day and night. At the advent of Brahma's day, all living beings emanate from the unmanifest source. And at the fall of his night, all embodied beings again merge into their unmanifest source. Multitudes of beings repeatedly take birth with the advent of Brahma's day and are reabsorbed on the arrival of the cosmic night to manifest again automatically on the advent of the next cosmic day. Transcendental to this manifest and unmanifest creation, there is yet another unmanifest eternal dimension. That realm does not cease even when all others do. That unmanifest dimension is the supreme goal, and upon reaching it, one never returns to this mortal world. That is my supreme abode. The Supreme Divine Personality is greater than all that exists. Although he is all-pervading and all living beings are situated in him, I shall now describe to you the different paths of passing away from this world, O best of the Bharatas, one of which leads to liberation and the other leads to rebirth. Those who know the Supreme Brahman and who depart from this world, during the 6 months of the sun's northern course, the bright fortnight of the moon, and the bright part of the day, attain the supreme destination. The practitioners of Vedic rituals, who pass away during the 6 months of the sun's southern course, the dark fortnight of the moon, the time of smoke, the night, attain the celestial abodes. After enjoying celestial pleasures, they again return to the earth. These two, bright and dark paths, always exist in this world. The way of light leads to liberation and the way of darkness leads to rebirth. Yogis who know the secret of these two paths, O Parth, are never bewildered. Therefore, at all times be situated in Yoga, union with God. The yogis, who know this secret, gain merit far beyond the fruits of Vedic rituals, the study of the Vedas, performance of sacrifices, austerities, and charities. Such yogis reach the supreme abode. Chapter 9, Raj Vidya Yog. Yog through the King of Sciences. In the 2 previous chapters, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna declared that among all, Bhakti is the highest, yet the simplest path of attaining Yoga, or union with the Supreme. In this chapter, he reveals his supreme glories that inspire reverence, devotion, and awe. Although Sri Krishna stands in front of Arjuna in his personal form, it should not be mistaken to pose his human personality. At the beginning of creation, the Supreme Lord creates innumerable life forms with his material energy. And at dissolution, he absorbs them back into himself, and in the next cycle of creation, he manifests them again. Similar to the mighty winds that blow everywhere yet always stay within the sky, all living beings dwell within God. However, he remains ever aloof and detached from all these activities as a neutral observer by his divine Yogmaya power. To resolve the apparent confusion of the Hindu pantheon, Sri Krishna explains that there is only one God, who is the sole object of worship. For all living beings, he is the true friend, the support, refuge, and the final goal. Therefore, those souls who engage in exclusive devotion towards the Supreme Lord go to his abode and remain there. Those influenced by the ritualistic ceremonies described in the Vedas also attain the celestial abodes. However, when their merits are exhausted, they must return to earth. Saying this, Sri Krishna exalts the superiority of pure bhakti solely directed toward him. Such a devotee lives in complete union with God's will, doing everything for him and offering everything to him. Their pure devotion helps devotees attain the mystic union with God and releases them from the bondage of karmas. Sri Krishna asserts that he is impartial towards all creatures. He neither favors nor rejects anyone. Even if despicable sinners come to his shelter, he accepts them willingly and very quickly makes them pure and virtuous. Sri Krishna then says that he is seated within his devotees and will The Supreme Lord said, O Arjun, because you are not envious of me, I shall now impart to you this very confidential knowledge and wisdom, upon knowing which you will be released from the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is the king of sciences and the most profound of all secrets. It purifies those who hear it. It is directly realizable, in accordance with dharma, easy to practice, and everlasting in effect. People who have no faith in this dharma are unable to attain me, O conqueror of enemies. They repeatedly come back to this world in the cycle of birth and death. This entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. And yet, the living beings do not abide in me. Behold the mystery of my divine energy. Although I am the creator and sustainer of all living beings, I am not influenced by them or by material nature. Know that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, likewise all living beings always rest in me. At the end of one kalp, all living beings merge into my primordial material energy. At the beginning of the next creation, O son of Kunti, I manifest them again. Presiding over my material energy, I generate these myriad forms again and again in accordance with the force of their natures. O conqueror of wealth, none of these actions bind me. I remain like a neutral observer, ever detached from these actions. Working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms, O son of Kunti. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. When I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know the divinity of my personality as the Supreme Lord of all beings. Bewildered by the material energy, such persons embrace demoniac and atheistic views. In that deluded state, their hopes for welfare are in vain, their fruitive actions are wasted, and their culture of knowledge is baffled. But the great souls, who take shelter of my divine energy, O Parth, know me, Lord Krishna, as the origin of all creation. They engage in my devotion with their minds fixed exclusively on me. Always singing my divine glories, striving with great determination, and humbly bowing down before me, they constantly worship me in loving devotion. Others, engaging in the yajna of cultivating knowledge, worship me by many methods. Some see me as undifferentiated oneness that is non-different from them, while others see me as separate from them. Still others worship me in the infinite manifestations of my cosmic form. It is I who am the Vedic ritual, I am the sacrifice, and I am the oblation offered to the ancestors. I am the medicinal herb, and I am the Vedic mantra. I am the clarified butter, I am the fire and the act of offering. Of this universe, I am the father, I am also the mother, the sustainer, and the grandsire. I am the purifier, the goal of knowledge, the sacred syllable Om. I am the Rig Veda, Samveda, and the Yajur Veda. I am the supreme goal of all living beings, and I am also their sustainer, master, witness, abode, shelter, and friend. I am the origin, end, and resting place of creation. I am the repository and eternal seed. I radiate heat as the sun, and I withhold, as well as send forth rain. I am immortality as well as death personified, O Arjun. I am the spirit as well as matter. Those who are inclined to the fruitive activity described in the Vedas worship me through ritualistic sacrifices. Being purified from sin by drinking the som juice, which is the remnant of the yajnas, they seek to go to heaven. By virtue of their pious deeds, they go to the abode of Indra, the king of heaven, and enjoy the pleasures of the celestial gods. When they have enjoyed the vast pleasures of heaven, the stock of their merits being exhausted, they return to the earthly plane. Thus, those who follow the Vedic rituals, desiring objects of enjoyment, repeatedly come and go in this world. There are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them, whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. O son of Kunti, even those devotees who faithfully worship other gods also worship me. But they do so by the wrong method. I am the enjoyer and the only Lord of all sacrifices. But those who fail to realize my divine nature must be reborn. Worshippers of the celestial gods take birth amongst the celestial gods. Worshippers of the ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of ghosts take birth amongst such beings, and my devotees come to me alone. If one offers to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I delightfully partake of that item offered with love by my devotee in pure consciousness. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as an offering to me. By dedicating all your works to me, you will be freed from the bondage of good and bad results. With your mind attached to me through renunciation, you will be liberated and will reach me. I am equally disposed to all living beings. I am neither inimical nor partial to anyone. But the devotees who worship me with love reside in me and I reside in them. Even if the vilest sinners worship me with exclusive devotion, they are to be considered righteous because they have made the proper resolve. Quickly they become virtuous and attain lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that no devotee of mine is ever lost. All those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, or caste, even those whom society scorns, will attain the supreme destination. What then to speak about kings and sages with meritorious deeds? Therefore, having come to this transient and joyless world, engage in devotion unto me. Always think of me, be devoted to me, worship me, and offer obeisance to me. Having dedicated your mind and body to me, you will certainly come to me. Chapter 10 Vibhuti Yog. Yog through appreciating the infinite opulences of God. The previous chapter revealed the science of bhakti or loving devotion of God. In this chapter, Sri Krishna desires to increase Arjun's bhakti by describing his infinite glories and opulence. The verses are not only pleasing to read but also enchanting to hear. He helps Arjun to meditate on God by reflecting upon his magnificence. Lord Krishna reveals that he is the source of all that exists. It is from his mind, the 7 great sages, the 4 great saints, and the 14 Manus were born. All the people of this world then descended from them. The various exceptional qualities in humans also arise from him. Those devotees who know this engage in his devotion with great faith. They derive immense satisfaction by conversing about his glories and also help enlightening others about them. God dwells in the hearts of such devotees whose mind is always united in him. He then bestows upon them his divine knowledge, through which they can attain God realization. Arjun is now fully convinced that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Divine Personality and requests him to describe further his divine glories, which are like divine nectar. Sri Krishna then discloses that everything that exists is a manifestation of his energies. He is the beginning, middle, and end of all. All beings and things get their splendor from him. He is the powerhouse of magnificence and the infinite reservoir of knowledge, power, beauty, and glory. Whatever catches our imagination and infuses us with bliss is nothing but a tiny spark of his opulence. The rest of the chapter describes the personalities, objects, and activities that best display his magnificence. Sri Krishna finally says that the magnitude of his glory cannot The Lord said, "Listen again to my divine teachings, O mighty armed one. Desiring your welfare because you are my beloved friend, I shall reveal them to you. Neither celestial gods nor the great sages know of my origin. I am the source from which the gods and great seers come. Those who know me as unborn and beginningless, and as the Supreme Lord of the universe, they among mortals are free from illusion and released from all evils. From me alone arise the varieties of qualities in humans, such as intellect, knowledge, clarity of thought, forgiveness, truthfulness, control over the senses and mind, joy and sorrow, birth and death, fear and courage, non-violence, equanimity, contentment, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. The 7 great sages, the 4 great saints before them, and the 14 Manus are all born from my mind. From them, all the people in the world have descended. Those who know in truth my glories and divine powers become united with me through unwavering Bhakti Yog. Of this there is no doubt. I am the origin of all creation. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. With their minds fixed on me and their lives surrendered to me, my devotees remain ever content in me. They derive great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening one another about me and in conversing about my glories. To those whose minds are always united with me in loving devotion, I give the divine knowledge by which they can attain me. Out of compassion for them, I, who dwell within their hearts, destroy the darkness born of ignorance, with the luminous lamp of knowledge. Arjun said, "You are the Supreme Divine Personality, the Supreme Abode, the Supreme Purifier, the Eternal God, the Primal Being, the Unborn, and the Greatest." The great sages, like Narad, Asit, Deval, and Vyas, proclaimed this, and now you are declaring it to me yourself. O Krishna, I totally accept everything you have told me as the truth. O Lord, neither gods nor the demons can understand your true personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your inconceivable energy, O Supreme Personality, the Creator and Lord of all beings, the God of gods, and the Lord of the universe. Please describe to me your divine opulences, by which you pervade all the worlds and reside in them. O Supreme Master of Yoga, how may I know you and think of you? And while meditating, in what forms can I think of you, O Supreme Divine Personality? Tell me again in detail your divine glories and manifestations, O Janardhan. I can never tire of hearing your nectar. The Lord spoke, I shall now briefly describe my divine glories to you, O best of the Kurus, for there is no end to their detail. O Arjun, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings. Amongst the 12 sons of Aditi I am Vishnu, amongst luminous objects I am the sun. Know me to be Marichi amongst the Maruts, and the moon amongst the stars in the night sky. I am the Samaveda amongst the Vedas, and Indra amongst the celestial gods. Amongst the senses I am the mind, amongst the living beings I am consciousness. Amongst the Rudras know me to be Shankar, amongst the semi-celestial beings and demons I am Kuber. I am Agni amongst the Vasus and Meru amongst the mountains. O Arjun, amongst priests, I am Brihaspati, amongst warrior chiefs I am Kartikeya, and amongst reservoirs of water, know me to be the ocean. I am Bhrigu amongst the great seers and the transcendental Om amongst sounds. Amongst chants know me to be the repetition of the holy name, amongst immovable things I am the Himalayas. Amongst trees I am the peepal tree, sacred fig tree, of the celestial sages I am Narad. Amongst the Gandharvas I am Chitrat, and amongst the Siddhas I am sage Kapil. Amongst horses know me to be Uchchashrava, begotten from the churning of the ocean of nectar. I am Airavata amongst all lordly elephants, and the king amongst humans. I am the Vajra, thunderbolt, amongst weapons and Kamdhenu amongst the cows. I am Kamdev, the god of love, amongst all causes for procreation, and amongst serpents, I am Vasuki. Amongst the snakes I am Anant, amongst aquatics I am Varun. Amongst the departed ancestors I am Aryama, amongst dispensers of law I am Yamraj, the Lord of Death. I am Prahlad amongst the demons, amongst all that controls I am Time. Know me to be the lion amongst animals, and Garud amongst the birds. Amongst purifiers, I am the wind, and amongst wielders of weapons, I am Lord Ram. Of water creatures, I am the crocodile, and of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. O Arjun, know me to be the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. Amongst sciences, I am the science of spirituality, and in debates, I am the logical conclusion. I am the beginning A amongst all letters. I am the dual word in grammatical compounds. I am the endless time, and amongst creators I am Brahma. I am the all-devouring death, and I am the origin of those things that are yet to be. Amongst feminine qualities I am fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, courage, and forgiveness. Amongst the hymns in the Samaveda, know me to be the Brihatsama. Amongst poetic meters, I am the Gayatri. Of the 12 months of the Hindu calendar, I am Margashirsh, and of seasons I am spring, which brings forth flowers. I am the gambling of the cheats and the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory of the victorious, the resolve of the resolute, and the virtue of the virtuous. Amongst the descendants of Vrishni, I am Krishna, and amongst the Pandavas I am Arjun. Know me to be Vedvyas amongst the sages, and Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. I am just punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness, and proper conduct amongst those who seek victory. Amongst secrets I am silence, and in the wise I am their wisdom. I am the generating seed of all living beings, O Arjun. No creature moving or non-moving can exist without me. There is no end to my divine manifestations, O conqueror of enemies. What I have declared to you is a mere sample of my infinite glories. Whatever you see as beautiful, glorious, or powerful, know it to spring from but a spark of my splendor. What need is there for all this detailed knowledge, O Arjun? Simply know that by one fraction of my being, I pervade and support this entire creation. Chapter 11. Vishwaroop Darshan Yog. Yog through beholding the cosmic form of God. To nurture and intensify Arjun's devotion, Sri Krishna had described his divine vibhutis, opulence, in the previous chapter. Towards the end, he had mentioned that all the beauty, glory, and power is just a spark of his immeasurable splendor. Hearing this, Arjun became curious. In this chapter, he requests the Lord to show him his Vishwaroop, or the infinite cosmic form. Sri Krishna grants Arjun divine vision to see his infinite form that comprises all the universes. Arjun sees the entire creation in the body of the God of gods with unlimited arms, faces, and stomachs. It has no beginning or end and extends immeasurably in all directions. His radiance is similar to 1,000 suns blazing together in the sky. The sight dazzles Arjun, and his hair stands on end. He witnesses the three worlds trembling with fear of God's laws and the celestial gods taking his shelter. He can see several sages offering prayers and singing hymns exalting God. Then Arjun sees the Kauravas, along with their allies, rushing into the mouth of this formidable form, who look like moths rushing with great speed toward the fire to perish. Beholding this universal form, Arjun confesses that his heart and mind are unstable with fear. Although petrified by the appearance, Arjun wants to know the identity of this breathtaking form of God, who has no resemblance to his teacher and friend Sri Krishna. The Lord declares that in the form of time, he is the destroyer of the three worlds. He has already destroyed the Kaurava warriors, and the Pandavs' victory is certain. Therefore, Arjun should not be fearful anymore. He should just get up and fight. Overwhelmed, Arjun starts praising the Lord who, in his infinite forms, pervades the entire universe and offers several salutations to his majestic form. He also begs for forgiveness to Sri Krishna for any offenses or acts of disrespect he may have committed in ignorance, considering him to be a mere human. Arjun then pleads the Lord for his grace and requests him to take a pleasing form. Sri Krishna then manifests into his four-armed form, carrying a make, disc, conch shell, and lotus flower in each arm. Soon after, he resumes his gentle and loving two-armed form of the charming Sri Krishna. He then tells Arjun that before him, no one has ever seen God in this primeval cosmic form. Even those who study the Vedas do see via Arjun said, having heard the supremely confidential spiritual knowledge, which you have revealed out of compassion for me, my illusion is now dispelled. I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of all living beings, O Lotus-eyed One, and also about your eternal magnificence. O Supreme Lord, you are precisely what you declare yourself to be. Now I desire to see your divine cosmic form, O greatest of persons. O Lord of all mystic powers, if you think I am strong enough to behold it, then kindly reveal that imperishable cosmic form to me. The Supreme Lord said, Behold, O Parth, my hundreds and thousands of wonderful forms of various shapes, sizes, and colors. Behold in me, O scion of the Bharatas, the 12 sons of Aditi, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, the twin Ashwini Kumars, as well as the 49 Maruts and many more marvels never revealed before. Behold now, Arjun, the entire universe, with everything moving and non-moving, assembled together in my universal form. Whatever else you wish to see, observe it all within this universal form. But you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you divine vision. Behold my majestic opulence. Sanjay said, O King, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of Yoga, Sri Krishna, displayed his divine and opulent form to Arjun. In that cosmic form, Arjun saw unlimited faces and eyes, decorated with many celestial ornaments and wielding many kinds of divine weapons. He wore many garlands on his body and was anointed with many sweet-smelling heavenly fragrances. He revealed himself as the wonderful and infinite Lord whose face is everywhere. If 1,000 suns were to blaze forth together in the sky, they would not match the splendor of that great form. There Arjun could see the totality of the entire universe established in one place, in that body of the God of gods. Then, Arjun, full of wonder and with hair standing on end, bowed his head before the Lord and addressed him, with folded hands. Arjun said, O Sri Krishna, I behold within your body all the gods and hosts of different beings. I see Brahma seated on the lotus flower, I see Shiv, all the sages, and the celestial serpents. I see your infinite form in every direction, with countless arms, stomachs, faces, and eyes. O Lord of the universe, whose form is the universe itself, I do not see in you any beginning, middle, or end. I see your form, adorned with a crown, and armed with the club and disc, shining everywhere as the abode of splendor. It is hard to look upon you in the blazing fire of your effulgence, which is radiating like the sun in all directions. I recognize you as the supreme imperishable being, the ultimate truth to be known by the scriptures. You are the support of all creation. You are the eternal protector of Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion, and you are the everlasting supreme divine personality. You are without beginning, middle, or end. Your power has no limits. Your arms are infinite. The sun and the moon are like your eyes, and fire is like your mouth. I see you warming the entire creation by your radiance. The space between heaven and earth and all the directions is pervaded by you alone. Seeing your wondrous and terrible form, I see the three worlds trembling in fear, O greatest of all beings. All the celestial gods are taking your shelter by entering into you. In awe, some are praising you with folded hands. The great sages and perfected beings are extolling you with auspicious hymns and profuse prayers. The Rudras, Adityas, Vasus, Sadhyas, Vishwadevas, Ashwini Kumars, Maruts, ancestors, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and Siddhas are all beholding you in wonder. O mighty Lord, in veneration of your magnificent form with its many mouths, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, stomachs, and terrifying teeth, all the worlds are terror-stricken, and so am I. O Lord Vishnu, seeing your form touching the sky, effulgent in many colors, with mouths wide open and enormous blazing eyes, my heart is trembling with fear. I have lost all courage and peace of mind. Having seen your many mouths bearing your terrible teeth, resembling the raging fire at the time of annihilation, I forget where I am and do not know where to go. O Lord of Lords, you are the shelter of the universe. Please have mercy on me. I see all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings, including Bhishma, Dronacharya, Karna, and also the generals from our side, rushing headlong into your fearsome mouths. I see some with their heads smashed between your terrible teeth. As many waves of the rivers flowing rapidly into the ocean, so are all these great warriors entering into your blazing mouths. As moths rush with great speed into the fire to perish, so are all these armies entering with great speed into your mouths. With your fiery tongues you are licking up the hosts of living beings on all sides and devouring them with your blazing mouths. O Vishnu, you are scorching the entire universe with the fierce, all-pervading rays of your effulgence. Tell me who you are, so fierce of form. O God of gods, I bow before you, please bestow your mercy on me. You, who existed before all creation, I wish to know who you are, for I do not comprehend your nature and workings. The Supreme Lord said, I am mighty time, the source of destruction that comes forth to annihilate the worlds. Even without your participation, the warriors arrayed in the opposing army shall cease to exist. Therefore, arise and attain honor. Conquer your foes and enjoy prosperous rulership. These warriors stand already slain by me, and you will only be an instrument of my work, O expert archer. Dronacharya, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other brave warriors have already been killed by me. Therefore, slay them without being disturbed. Just fight and you will be victorious over your enemies in battle. Sanjay said, hearing these words of Keshav, Arjun trembled with dread. With palms joined, he bowed before Sri Krishna and spoke in a faltering voice, overwhelmed with fear. Arjun said, O Master of the senses, it is but APT that the universe rejoices in giving you praise and is enamored by you. Demons flee fearfully from you in all directions and hosts of perfected saints bow to you. O Great One, who are even greater than Brahma, the original creator, why should they not bow to you? O Limitless One, O Lord of the Devtas, O Refuge of the universe, you are the imperishable reality beyond both the manifest and the non-manifest. You are the primeval God and the original divine personality. You are the sole resting place of this universe. You are both the knower and the object of knowledge. You are the supreme abode. O possessor of infinite forms, you alone pervade the entire universe. You are Vayu, god of wind, Yamraj, god of death, Agni, god of fire, Vayu, god of water, and Chandra, moon god. You are the creator Brahma, and the great-grandfather of all beings. I offer my salutations unto you 1,000 times, again and yet again. O Lord of infinite power, my salutations to you from the front and the rear, indeed from all sides. You possess infinite valor and might and pervade everything, and thus you are everything. Thinking of you as my friend, I presumptuously addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadav, O my dear friend. I was ignorant of your majesty, showing negligence and undue affection. And if, jestfully, I treated you with disrespect, while playing, resting, sitting, eating, when alone, or before others, for all that I crave forgiveness. You are the Father of the entire universe, of all moving and non-moving beings. You are the most deserving of worship and the supreme spiritual master. When there is none equal to you in all the three worlds, then who can possibly be greater than you, O possessor of incomparable power? Therefore, O adorable Lord, bowing deeply and prostrating before you, I implore you for your grace. As a father tolerates his son, a friend forgives his friend, and a lover pardons the beloved, please forgive me for my offenses. Having seen your universal form that I had never seen before, I feel great joy. And yet, my mind trembles with fear. Please have mercy on me and again show me your pleasing form, O God of gods, O abode of the universe. O thousand-armed one, though you are the embodiment of all creation, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, carrying the make and disc, and wearing the crown. The Lord said, Arjun, being pleased with you, by my Yogmaya power, I gave you a vision of my resplendent, unlimited, and primeval cosmic form. No one before you has ever seen it. Not by study of the Vedas, nor by the performance of sacrifice, rituals, or charity, nor even by practicing severe austerities, has any mortal ever seen what you have seen, O best of the Kuru warriors. Be neither afraid nor bewildered on seeing this terrible form of mine. Be free from fear and with a cheerful heart, behold me once again in my personal form. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, the compassionate son of Vasudev displayed his personal, four-armed, form again. Then, he further consoled the frightened Arjun by assuming his gentle, two-armed, form. Arjun said, O Shri Krishna, seeing your gentle human form, two-armed, I have regained my composure and my mind is restored to normal. The Supreme Lord said, this form of mine that you are seeing is exceedingly difficult to behold. Even the celestial gods are eager to see it. Neither by the study of the Vedas, nor by penance, charity, or fire sacrifices, can I be seen as you have seen me. O Arjun, by unalloyed devotion alone can I be known as I am, standing before you. Thereby, on receiving my divine vision, O scorcher of foes, one can enter into union with me. Those who perform all their duties for my sake, who depend upon me and are devoted to me, who are free from attachment, and are without malice toward all beings, such devotees certainly come to me. Chapter 12, Bhakti Yog, the Yoga of Devotion. This chapter begins with Arjun asking Shri Krishna about the two types of yogis and among them whom does he consider perfect. Those who worship the formless Brahman or those who are devoted to the personal form of God. Shri Krishna declares that devotees can attain him by both paths. However, he considers those who worship his personal form as the best yogis. In this small chapter of 20 verses, Sri Krishna emphasizes that the path of devotion is the highest among all types of spiritual practices. He then explains to Arjuna that it is rather difficult to meditate upon the unmanifest aspect of God. Hence, the path of worshipping the formless is full of tribulations for the embodied souls. On the other hand, the devotees who worship his personal form dedicate all their actions to him. And with their mind and intellect consciously surrendered, they attain him. Such souls swiftly get liberated from the cycle of life and death. Therefore, Sri Krishna asks Arjuna to give up all doubts and surrender his intellect with his mind fixed in loving devotion to God alone. Sri Krishna says that such love for God does not come naturally to the struggling souls. Devotion is not some mysterious gift that one can get, it requires consistent efforts to cultivate it. Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that if he is unable to absorb his mind in God completely, then he should strive to do all his work with devotion to God. And with constant practice, he will reach perfection. If Arjuna cannot even do this, then he should work for the pleasure of Sri Krishna. And if he feels even this is difficult, then he should simply renounce the fruits of all his works and be situated in the self. Sri Krishna further explains that the cultivation of knowledge is higher than mechanical practice, and meditation is higher than knowledge. However, better than meditation. Arjuna inquired, between those who are steadfastly devoted to your personal form and those who worship the formless Brahman, whom do you consider to be more perfect in yoga? The Lord said, those who fix their minds on me and always engage in my devotion with steadfast faith, I consider them to be the best yogis. But those who worship the formless aspect of the absolute truth, the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifest, the all-pervading, the unthinkable, the unchanging, the eternal, and the immovable, by restraining their senses and being even-minded everywhere, such persons, engaged in the welfare of all beings, also attain me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifest, the path of realization is full of tribulations. Worship of the unmanifest is exceedingly difficult for embodied beings. But those who dedicate all their actions to me, regarding me as the supreme goal, worshipping me and meditating on me with exclusive devotion, O Parth, I swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death, for their consciousness is united with me. Fix your mind on me alone and surrender your intellect to me. Thereupon, you will always live in me. Of this, there is no doubt. If you are unable to fix your mind steadily on me, O Arjuna, then practice remembering me with devotion while constantly restraining the mind from worldly affairs. If you cannot practice remembering me with devotion, then just try to work for me. Thus performing devotional service to me, you shall achieve the stage of perfection. If you are unable to even work for me in devotion, then try to renounce the fruits of your actions and be situated in the self. Better than mechanical practice is knowledge, better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of actions, for peace immediately follows such renunciation. Those devotees are very dear to me who are free from malice toward all living beings, who are friendly and compassionate. They are free from attachment to possessions and egotism, equipoised in happiness and distress, and ever forgiving. They are ever content, steadily united with me in devotion, self-controlled, of firm resolve, and dedicated to me in mind and intellect. Those who are not a source of annoyance to anyone and who in turn are not agitated by anyone, who are equal in pleasure and pain, and free from fear and anxiety. Those who are indifferent to worldly gains, externally and internally pure, skillful, without cares, untroubled, and free from selfishness in all undertakings, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Those who neither rejoice in mundane pleasures nor despair in worldly sorrows, who neither lament for any loss nor hanker for any gain, who renounce both good and evil deeds, such persons who are full of devotion are very dear to me. Those who are alike to friend and foe, equipoise in honor and dishonor, cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and are free from all unfavorable association, those who take praise and reproach alike, who are given to silent contemplation, content with what comes their way, without attachment to the place of residence, whose intellect is firmly fixed in me, and who are full of devotion to me, such persons are very dear to me. Those who honor this nectar of wisdom declared here, have faith in me, and are devoted and intent on me as the supreme goal, they are exceedingly dear to me.